What'd you say about a fat dick, Evan?
Nothing.
Well, I guess it's time to welcome everybody back to Probably Dad's podcast. It's going to be episode 4.2. So, again, we've tried to record other episodes. We've had a little technical difficulties. Evan, what's on the agenda this week?
Current events.
Current events, dad things.
Yes. Pregnancy.
Pregnancy, yes.
Yep.
You're not pregnant, right?
No.
It's 2019, so gender fluid, not your pregnancy?
Yeah.
So you're telling me you're making your wife carry that?
Yeah.
It's very old-fashioned of you, but
You dang right.
carry on. Well, thanks everybody for listening, and we'll be back in a minute.
You remind me of my father. I hated my father.
You tell me, who is your daddy?
I am the father.
And thankfully, some dads took action. Basically, what do they want for Father's Day? For the media to stop portraying dads as buffoons.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, and we're back. So before we got started, Evan was telling me about the studio here. He's going to turn this into his gunsmithing situation. You want to tell me a little more about that, Evan?
Well, I wouldn't say gunsmithing. It'd be a reloading, it's kind of a work area.
Reloading.
I wouldn't do any work to an actual firearm, but it would be work to save money on ammunition that I use for firearms or for hunting.
Right on, right on. So reloading area. So why would you have a reloading area? Probably need that.
Yeah.
I don't have my headphones on. We're out of practice.
How's the mic sound? We good?
Yeah, we're good.
Coming
we're good.
creepishly low on the next one.
No, we're fine.
No, it's $3 or $4 a bullet for some of these.
Well, $3 or $4 a bullet.
Range.
What kind of weapons we talking about?
300 caliber.
Like a Win Mag 300?
Yeah. For
I
sure.
only know that because I have a friend who's actually a sniper. I've never shot one, but he tells me that's his go-to.
Just bullets that can travel, upwards of a mile.
You
I
shoot
wouldn't say
stuff at a
exactly
mile?
No. But, a couple hundred yards for sure.
Let me ask you, is it for your benefit to why would you want to shoot something very far away? Is it just for bragging rights, or is there certain animals you got to shoot that far?
Certain animals you got to shoot that far.
Is that just because they're super in tune with smell and hearing and all that shit? I'm honestly not familiar with it.
It's actually a timing thing. So for me, I don't have time to go out and hunt an animal for a month or two. So I have to be able to get close enough to that animal. And the closest shot you might have would be, and it all depends on the terrain.
Right.
If you get within a couple hundred yards of an animal, you're extremely lucky. But if you're, let's say, 400 or 500 yards or say 1,000 yards from an animal, and that's the only shot you're going to get for that week you're there,
yeah,
you got to take it. You got to be able to make it.
Okay.
Make it when you take it.
Make it, take it. Kind of like
So it's nothing. It's not the fact that you're cheating, or it kind of is, but
it's just giving you accessibility on certain shots that you wouldn't normally have.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. And so because those bullets can be very expensive, you want to go full.
And it's not the hunting part of it that's expensive. It's the practice. So when you start practicing for that long range shot, and everything from breathing to just the technique and the weapon itself, but when you start practicing for it, that's when it gets expensive.
Yeah.
You're taking multiple shots trying to get that pattern.
I got you.
And you spend a lot of money. Money I don't have.
So packing your own bullets.
Reloading, yeah. Reloading your own bullets.
So you shoot them, bring your shells back. Where do you get the heads from?
Buy them offline, man.
Really?
Yeah, you can buy the primers,
so it's cheaper.
the powder,
cheaper to
everything.
Buy those things separate, do it yourself, than it is to buy the bullet.
Yeah. If you're shooting a lot of them, yeah. Like I said, $2 or $3 a bullet. A case of bullets is like 60 something, $80 dollars.
Fuck that.
Probably more. Yeah, more than that. A couple $100 for a case of bullets.
You just got to go out there with a knife like a man.
If you had if you
The
have
time
the
to stalk
accessibility,
the animal, put the shit
and
on
it's not
you.
even stalking the animals,
climb.
but it is stalking the animals. But it's going out there, knowing where the animals are or where they aren't. But you're covering so much ground when you go out to these places out west to be able to hunt in a
Is that what you're
timely
talking?
manner.
So we went
Yes.
hiking today, and you were like, "We could train up here for the mountains."
Yeah,
that's what
absolutely.
that's about.
Mm-hmm.
You know what Cam? I listen to Cam Haynes, those podcasts and stuff. That's what he talks about when he runs these ultra marathons, these 100-mile races and stuff like that. He's like, "I'm only doing this to hunt better." That's what he says. He says, "I'm literally only doing this to hunt better," because all he does is like heavy backcountry hunting, bow hunting. So he's not even using a damn rifle. So he's up there for days hiking through the mountains and the terrains, and he's like, "I do this to stay in shape for hunting." I mean, when you're running a marathon every morning just to like warm up,
it's intense.
that's heavy duty.
But out there,
you think you might want to do something like that?
Yeah, I wouldn't do the marathons, but yeah, I'd take the South Alabama way.
Yeah,
getting her done. No, so a lot of times you see these guys doing high altitude trainings because they're out in the high, like hilly terrains or mountainous terrains. The flat, more accessible areas are all taken by the locals. So like Montana, for instance, or Colorado, or even Nevada, some of the places that have a lot of those mountainous terrains.
Yeah,
all the good spots are given to the native residents of those states have first access to the better spots. So that's all it's taken up.
What about public land?
Public land is about like it is here. It's very, there's a lot of it, big ranges, but it's all, there's nothing developed. There's no road, not a lot of roads, not a lot of access. So it's tough.
More of a man thing.
Yes.
Like
and that's what I'd be hunting.
Some Chris Chavez.
Yeah.
We'll get out on.
Well, I'm hunting public land. You go out there and hunt, 90% of it's public land or leases that are tied in with public land. But
how do you lease public land? I thought it was public land.
No. Leases that are tied in with public land. So what a lot of these outfitters
private land that backs up to a public land?
Yes.
I got you.
So you have that access.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So they can have like their camp set up and like, refilling stations and a cabin and all that kind of stuff on the private access that backs up to the public land.
I've never been. So
we should go.
So
if anybody wants to hook that up,
I've looked at hunting. And this is the struggle I have. I see all these people in South Alabama and Mississippi and even Louisiana, Georgia, the northern panhandle of Florida, man, paying $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a year to be in these trophy managed clubs where all they have to do is drive out to a little shooting house, park their 4-wheeler or their golf cart right next to the damn place where they're going to kill a deer.
Yeah.
And they're already fed up. They've got cameras out everywhere, and they're 300 plus pounds just climbing up a shooting house, blasting a deer a couple hundred yards away. And then they post on all the social media. Hey, man, I got her done this weekend.
I think that's the difference.
What'd you get done?
I could probably equate that to like dudes who juice steroids and guys who go into the gym to get it.
Yeah.
For like the mental and physical aspect of it. There's the trophy aspect. Like I just want to look pretty. Take a bunch of gym selfies in the mirror, just hanging out in the bathroom by myself because I'm a loser. Versus somebody who just fucking goes in there, kills themselves for an hour, and then just lives their life. Like the gym is not. It's not for show. It's for go. Yeah,
it's just a tool.
Yeah.
No, but there's different. Yes, the other person's using it for a tool as well. But it's.
but it's completely aesthetic. Is my point. Like it's for aesthetic purposes. It's not for functionality.
When's the last time you posted a selfie working out?
I don't own one, so
okay, good.
And that's not to say. Yeah, no, I don't own one. Like I don't have any of those sweet bathroom selfies that you send out. Yeah, I'm not an owner of those. No. Like most of my pictures on like my Instagram and stuff, I'm not even in.
What's the monthly payment on those?
What?
Those selfies in the bathroom.
I don't know. Apparently,
if it's on,
dude, I tell you what, man, those same dudes.
Is it like like a car note? You got to.
Yeah, but payment, dude, those same bathroom selfie guys are with bathroom selfie girls, and I love it because they'll be bathroom selfieing together. No shit. I'm like, maybe go live your life. That's an option.
Oh yeah.
Like live a life worth taking pictures of. Like if you're living a good life, like you don't have to take selfies. People will be taking pictures of you doing awesome shit.
What do these people do before social media?
Fucking cry. for every breakup a bodybuilder's made. You ever heard that saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, fuck her. I'm going to get on steroids. I'm going to be so jacked. No girl's going to want to say no to me. Like, if that was true, then every girl would only date bodybuilders. But we all know that's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's about self-confidence and not being a fucking weirdo. And so when like I see guys in the gym that are fucking patting each other's ass, like, yeah, bro, flex those glutes. And they're like practicing posing. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like the only people that like that shit are other dudes. Like the only guys that are into it are like, bro, look at those striations in your ass. Oh, man. Some girl's going to love that. Now squeeze it together. Squeeze it together one more time for me. It's like, fuck, dude. Come on, man. Let that shit go. I mean, and you know what? I'm friends with some of those guys, and they're not necessarily bad guys. I'm giving them shit because they give me shit.
Misguided.
That's not misguided, man. If that's what you're fucking into, everybody deserves to be affirmed, dude. If that's what you're into, I think they misunderstand.
I'm in some weird stuff too.
I think they misunderstand.
Yeah.
I think they don't fully understand what they're doing because they like in their head they think like big strong animal girls like, and you're like, James Bond gets the girl, not the ogre whose ass he kicks.
Yeah.
Like, never has that ever been the case.
Who was it, Metal Mouth or the guy with like
Jaws.
Jaws, yeah.
Like, big giant ogre, or does sleek James Bond get the girl?
Yeah.
Sleek James Bond gets the girl every time, man. I'm not saying, like...
What about
obviously not everybody's
Dolph
James Bond.
Lundgren? And
I think there's
I
think there's a point where it's too much. Like if you're too good looking and like you're too perfect and your hair is fucking perfect, that chicks are just like, ugh. They're just kind of turned off. I've talked to girls where like if a dude is like got more product than them, they're just not into it.
No. Who was the chick that played in Rocky 5 or whatever with the Russian?
Oh, Brigitte Nielsen.
Yeah, Brigitte
you remember?
Nielsen.
So
Brigitte.
Here's the end game of
and
that.
then she married
Flavor
Flav.
Flav.
So is James Bond equivalent to Flavor Flav? Or no?
No, man.
Okay.
She was just looking for a big black piece to get some.
Oh.
Dude, little skinny dudes like that, they're always carrying a hammer. Almost guaranteed. I was listening to
What? You serious?
I was listening to Your Mom's House podcast. That confirmed it, man. I was like, it was who was it? It was Heath Evans, the ex-NFL dude. He actually went to school, I guess, with Tom Segura, played against him or something. And like they call themselves the Dick Detectives. It's like a special on their show about who's got the biggest hammer. And like his wife was like, "All right, Heath, so you've been in a lot of locker rooms. Like, who's got the biggest piece?" He's like, "I'm gonna tell you right now. It's not those big monsters you're thinking about. It's some little wide receivers and cornerback guys that look out for.
Yeah.
Carrying those knee knockers." You're like, Jesus. Never mind.
Dude, basic training. I get in there, man. It's like, to me, it's nothing I'm not used to seeing, right? But it's open showers, all this stuff. And you could tell the guys who played organized sports and the guys who didn't.
Like some dudes are like huddled
yeah.
up. Yeah.
They're like, they jump out of the shower, grab a towel, wrap up, and here I come walking down the aisle. I don't care what I got. I'm just not like, doesn't matter, right?
Because you're not measuring it up. It's just a shower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And other guys are just all squeamish, but here comes a good friend of mine, actually, throughout basic. We'll call him Double D. And he comes walking down, dude, and it's like, you could see it, and the whole aisle goes, "Oh my God." And they're like scooting back from the edge of the aisle so it doesn't hit them. I'm like,
just swinging. Need a move.
So we had a a female drill instructor. And she couldn't so you had a drill sergeant who stayed in your barracks with you, right?
Really?
They would spend the night in the barracks with you sometimes, most of the time. So then you had the female drill instructors who would come in there like on day of inspection or, they'd fill in for whatever. And I never forget this lady. She was actually a really nice looking older lady. She was a tech sergeant, drill instructor. And we had open bays and there was like a horseshoe. You walked in the front, you could go down each aisle, and it connected in the back. Well, they always started down the aisle in the front, and then they would come down so there's two rows of beds on each bay. So they would go up one aisle and then come back down the other, and they're just flipping cots. I mean, just, trying to break you, Well, we're all standing there in our whitey tighties, and they would do a hygiene check every night. They come by and make sure all your fingernails were clipped, and you were shaved, and you had, you were just, so we're in our, like a white t-shirt and our boxers.
Yeah.
And the female drill instructors would walk through there. It didn't even matter. Well, there's these columns throughout the bays. And my buddy, Double D, I'm not going to say his name, but black guy, just hilarious. He's figured out that they couldn't see him until they got right there because he was behind this column. We're all standing at attention, Walking down the aisle, well, for whatever reason, she had came around the back side of this thing and was walking like just lurching around the back. Well, he made it a habit of we're all standing at attention with our hands out in front of us. And so we're not at attention. We're like standing like this.
Like a puppy dog.
He's got his dick hanging out of his boxers down to his knees. And he's just standing there like just smiling, grinning, just laughing. And we're all trying to keep it together.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, out of nowhere, this ninja drill instructor comes around. And dude, when I tell you she got within an inch of it, she had her hand. You know how they do like that?
Knife hand.
Knife hand, dude.
Yeah.
Knife hand. She goes, what the fuck is that? And got like from an inch of it, dude. And he is jumping up and down trying to get that thing back. It was so big, it would not go back in its hole, in the boxer hole. It was like,
what do you want me to do? I gotta coil it back up.
It was like trying to get, I don't know if you ever, but like some
one of those snakes in a can trying to put it
yes,
back in.
yeah, it's like trying to get that back in a can. And it's like crinkling up, and he is trying hard, like legitimate trying, and she is yelling. And you could tell, and she looked over at us, and we're all just dying laughing. Last time, she looks at us, she goes, "You think this is funny?" And she smoked us all, man. Like, just made us do sit-ups and everything. Well, later on that day, I'm walking out of the barracks, and I see her, and she's with a bunch of other female drill instructors telling them the story.
Yeah.
And literally describing how big it was. Needless to say, she was impressed.
Dude, somebody's rocking a knee knocker like that.
I was like,
everybody.
Then
like,
I knew.
Whoa.
Then
Whoa.
I knew I was screwed.
Yeah, guys like that floating around out there. You're like, God, dog. Yeah, you got to put it in.
So,
That's a humbling experience. You just got to remember.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I had a Ranger buddy that was like that.
Who was the guy? Oh, go ahead.
You know, he called himself the Nutsack Ninja. You know, he's out there with his freaking knocker like that. But at the same time, he would pull it out like a party favor. He'd be at the bar. You turn around, his fucking dick was out. He'd have it sitting on the bar to just like, what are you doing? Say names.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Let
Who?
me edit that out.
You know, he would pull it out, man. He'd just like have it out all the time. He's like, you turn around, there'd be a giant thing, but at the same time, like, he's like, yeah, problem, bud. Can't get it hard enough. It takes too much blood. You got 2 pounds of dick. It takes a lot of blood to get it going. I was like, well, good luck with that fucking thing. My little Mighty Mite doesn't need that much blood. I do just fine, buddy.
My little light switch.
Yeah.
That 3 heart pumps.
Yeah.
And I'm already going at 50 heart pumps.
3 heart pumps. What are you talking about? Like, I'd be dead. That son of a bitch be all right. No. So let's not talk about dicks anymore.
We're a good roll, man.
A good roll.
Well, so at what point in your back to a dad thing? What point in your marriage does size and all that stuff kind of just fade away? I'm gonna say after the first week.
I don't. Yeah, marriage. Dude, if I'm with a girl, I mean, I'm sure I've been lied to, and if you think you haven't been lied to and you're a man, you're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Because we just told stories about dudes out there.
Oh yeah. With
dicks as big as your arm. They exist. You've seen porn. Nobody's ever wanted to see a porn with an average sized dick. You want to see some big, crazy looking horse cock, dude.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. Okay, so if you're rocking an average dick and you're with a girl and she's like, oh my goodness, that's so big. It's not. And you know it's not, but just roll with it. It's part of this charade. It's like, oh, thank you. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, I know this is really tough for you. Like that whole game, just play the game. She's being nice to you. If you're lucky, she's got small hands. Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. It's perfectly fine.
I think the comment is, it's just the right size. Oh.
I think that's more of an insult. If you hear that, I think that's more of a... That's more of a, meh. She's just being very polite.
Yeah.
I've heard stories though, man.
I did polite girls, or did.
Yeah. I trust me. What a girl tells you, like, oh, they're so big, which is, you just know it. You're like, you don't have to lie to me. It's fine. Like I've been in a locker room. It's fine. Right?
Lie to me.
Nah, dude. You know,
tell me your lies.
It's like if somebody's like extra vocal and is just going crazy in there, you're like, calm down.
Yeah.
You think there's an audience here? This isn't a live studio audience. It's just me. You're kind of freaking me out. They got to settle down with some of that stuff. But that's what I heard. I don't know. Still a virgin. I don't know. I don't know about all that. But
yeah.
Chris Chavez once told me about something like that. Now, what else has he been telling you about this Bayway toll?
All right. So current events. Mobile Bay.
Mobile Bayway.
Bayway has slammed the city with a $6 toll.
Well, that's one way, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So for those of you who don't know, like the port city, it's right on the bay.
Where we're from.
A lot of people who work in downtown actually, if you want to grab another beer and not knock over the camera, that'd be great. A lot of people actually live across the bay and work in Mobile. And so every day they commute across the bridge. But between that and I-10 travel in general, like that afternoon traffic can be a monster. You're talking an hour or two to go a couple miles. It's pretty nasty. So you're talking a mile or, hour or two to go, a couple miles. And so the whole thing, they're supposed to be building this new bridge to help alleviate some of that traffic. Well, Aldot, has decided to forego applying for their federal grants, which the senator had them lined up for. They haven't sought other funding, so they've gone straight private for their funding.
You know more about it than I do, then.
And no, I read into the legality of it because I know how some of it, how it's supposed to work. And because I worked at the Mobile County Attorney's Office briefly as an intern when I was in law school, but and my ex-wife worked in the county commission, so I understand how some of that stuff works. And just essentially, it looks like Aldot had some ties and some financial benefit to gain by not receiving sufficient funds to not charge some astronomical toll. And likely the whole thing was the private backer, which is funding most of this, which is a lot of the money's going to, right? They probably said, this is the amount we have to charge for the toll. So likely, it's essentially like somebody, I'll only give you this loan if I could charge you this interest rate.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of situation.
Yeah.
It's probably, I'm only going to fund this bridge if I can charge you this much for the toll. And so Aldot probably was like, ooh, well, if we take this money from the feds, then we can't justify, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So to get the loan to actually finish it, they probably, had to, or didn't have to. They did that. It was probably a convenient way to do things for them. I'm not saying there's anything nefarious about it. I think for them, it just made sense, the easy way, and instead of being difficult, trying to go about it another way. That's what they did. So essentially, people who are doing a daily commute on this thing are looking at a $12 a day, toll fee, which is absurd. And they're saying like you can't circumvent it by going the longer, harder way. So even if you go the Bayway, like through the original tunnel, the Wallace Tunnel, you're still going to get charged. There's no way around it. You're going to
Causeway.
To get to the causeway, you're going to pay the toll unless you go through Africatown. So what did Chris have to say about it?
Oh, he's pissed.
Now, we talked about Chris Chavez. He is our conspiracy theorist. He's our resident.
He hasn't came up with it yet.
Tinfoil hat.
But
he will not come on the
he
podcast.
Is formulating a conspiracy right now.
Oh, for sure.
I there might be one. I don't know, but he's all over it.
He's all over it?
He is all over it.
What did he say? So you talked to him earlier, right?
Yeah. Well, that was basically it. But he's saying so you can buy a $90 a month pass.
$90 a month.
$90 a month.
Get the fuck out of here.
Dude, I know, right?
Get the fuck out of here,
That's
man.
a car payment for some people, dude.
Dude.
$90 a month.
It's $1,080 a year. $1,080.
That's ridiculous.
Go fuck yourself.
I know. So, man, it's tough. It's tough. Because
I think
at the
that
same
math
time,
is right. I'm not sure.
At the same time, I can see where it'd be a huge incentive for corporations and stuff to pay for their people to go back and forth for work.
Yeah, but that's going to be a new factor.
It is.
Some corporations might pay it, some might not. It's like a car allowance, right? It's like, how much are you worth this company? And that's going to change a lot of people's work things. So they're going to have to take that into account.
Yeah.
So some people that work paycheck to paycheck, right? Like a secretary or something, right? Or a paralegal that lives across the bay, works in downtown Mobile. Baldwin County doesn't have the industry to support all the people that work in downtown Mobile that make that travel every day, right?
Yeah.
So now those people are going to spend an extra $1,000 a year because these assholes are only going for a backer that's going to pay that. Because the senator, like our senator said, he's like, I had the federal grants ready. They just didn't apply for them. And they knew they were there. So it was set. Everything was set in place to help mitigate this cost. And they didn't take it up for whatever reason. And allegedly they're just dodging it. They're just dodging it left and right. I mean, we have a lot of crooked programs here. You got ALDOT, you got ADEM, Alabama Department of Environmental Management. So you got that Tyson spill up here, and they said it's going to take the Black Warrior River 5 years for the fish to.
I didn't hear about that.
Are you kidding me, dude? It was an insane fish kill. The Tyson plant up in northern Alabama released a bunch of chemicals out in the river, and ADEM had given them permits to release this stuff for a long time. It's real toxic stuff for the flora and fauna in the river. Killed them, and to rebound from this latest release, it said up to 5 years. And the governor, Kay Ivey, said, well, the people are under the wrong impression that the government runs ADEM. Ma'am, that is a government agency. Yeah, we appoint those people. We don't run it. Do you not know how the government works? If you don't like the way it's running, you're not running the internal structure. Like, they don't have the micromanaging capacity. They do have the ability to hire and fire the officials, right?
What were the chemicals?
I don't remember them offhand. I've read the article a long time ago.
Something they use in chicken, or
dude, preservatives. I'm not sure. I mean, whatever it was in the processing, but it was a nasty deal, and really bad for the environment. Really, obviously, dude, the fish kill was in the tens of thousands, maybe 100,000, maybe more.
Yeah.
Just super terrible, and there's like no liability around. Everybody's like,
So we were looking at a place over in Lake Charles, put an office, and I'll never forget this, but the port director looked at me and he said, yeah, we got this area, and this area that we're fixing to develop. He said, this area we thought about, but then we figured out some stuff that we couldn't do it. I was like, well, what was the stuff? He's like, well, there's too many past sins. Just think about before all these regulations and stuff came out back in the 70s, 80s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, how much stuff was dumped out there that we're still living with.
Oh, yeah, brother. Dude, environmental law that's why I got my certificate in law school. That's what I went there for. But it was, trust me, like that stuff it's around, that's like the, I haven't looked at it in a long time, man, but there's a lot of that, right? There's a lot of that going around, and and they've done a good job. The EPA does its best, cleaning up past waste sites. But the problem is, like, when you have, EPA they have a basement level standards, like the FDA. People are like, FDA approved. Okay, that's the basement level standard on anything. And that's like, it won't kill you above this. It doesn't mean it's good for you. It means it won't kill you. People are like, FDA approved. Like, awesome. That means it's not poison at the dosage you're prescribing. That's all that means. It doesn't mean it's good for you. It just means it won't kill you at that dosage. That's the LD50, right? The lethal dose. Yeah. So when people are like, government approved, like that doesn't mean good. Like, that means basement level approval. Like and that's why lawsuits still win, even though some things are FDA approved, because they go, FDA doesn't have the best scientists. Those dudes make $60,000 a year. The scientists you pay six figures that work for your pharmaceutical company, those dudes know better than the FDA scientists. And that's why they still lose those lawsuits, even though things are FDA approved, because their scientists knew better, right? And that's how it works. And the same thing with ADEM and EPA and these environmental releases. The top scientists don't go to work for $40,000 and $50,000 a year, which is what, nonprofits can pay, which is what ADEM can pay, which is what the EPA can pay. So the top guys who can figure things out go to work for a private industry. They work for the oil companies. They work for food processors, the big GMOs and all this kind of stuff. So they find ways to do it, and they find ways to explain it and push it through with the government agencies to get the clearance to do it. Hey, we're going to get this many jobs in the area. We're at FDA standard. We're above the EPA levels for this, this, and this. We're good. So we can release this amount. We're a point source release for this amount. So you get your 404 permits or whatever it is from the Army Corps of Engineers. Get it cleared with ADEM, and you're good. You're poisoning the water, but you're poisoning at a level that they accept. That's all you're doing. You're poisoning at a level the government says, that's the cost of doing business, right?
Yeah.
That's the cost, but that's a utilitarian approach to environmentalism.
Low risk.
Well, no, it's not low risk. It's like, what's the risk of, so people have to have jobs, people have to eat. The environment has to survive. So there's a balance somewhere in there. So if this plant running at this rate will poison everything. So what if we run it at half that rate? We still get to keep some jobs and we don't kill everything in the river. And that's the balance they strike. Because if you say, well, you can't release anything, well, then you can't run the damn plants. You can't run a nuke plant. A nuke plant releases warm water back into the river.
Yeah.
That's thermal pollution. It still kills things. Just warmer water coming in will kill flora and fauna, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the water running off of blacktops and stuff, that's thermal pollution, right? So like blacktops in summer are hot as shit. They burn your feet, right? 120, 130 degrees. What superheats the rainwater? All that rainwater runs into the river. What do you think 130 degree water running into a river does to the fish that live in the water? Kills them, right? But that's the cost of doing business. That's the balance. But ADEM has definitely let that balance shift way, way too far in the favor of these companies, man. When you're having massive fish kills like that, it's not good. Not good at all. But then you can see the other side of it, right? So look at the red snapper. So the red snapper was like the first time EPA stepped into protective species and put in a protective program. And so you go in the Gulf now, you throw out your line during red snapper season, pull them up every single, like as quick as you throw the line out, you get one, right?
Yeah.
And people want to expand the season. Hey, man, you almost drove these fish into extinction. The reason you can throw a line down and catch one every single cast during snapper season is because it was a government managed program that stopped you assholes from overfishing.
Oh, dude.
I mean, that's what stopped. That's why they're like that now. And they don't realize it. They're like, no,
it was a 10-year trajectory on saying, hey, if we don't stop and do something now, in 10 years, we're looking at extinction. And a lot of people don't see that. And
they don't understand the reason you cast it out and you could pull one up with every line is because they were protected.
Right.
From overfishing.
Shorten the season, span them out, all that good stuff. Yeah, I got pretty deep into that, and I had a few buddies that are actually guides in Orange Beach or charter boat captains. And man, they were like, hey, yeah, it hurts business, but I get it.
People love it, man. When you take somebody out and you can guarantee them pulling in big red snapper every single time you go out, that's worth something, is it not?
Yeah. And the fact of it is, man, it's within the outdoorsman, and it's rampant. It's overconsumption.
Yeah, man. Like
everybody wants to hunt now. Everybody wants to fish. Everybody, all these people want to go out there and just, they want to just go out there and drop their line in and catch fish. They want to go out there as soon as they sit down, shoot a deer.
Yeah.
I don't get it, man.
I'm trying to Google that thing right now, but like there was a,
what are you trying to Google?
The fish kill, ADEM fish kill, Tyson fish kill, Alabama. Okay, so I got it here. Oh, so wastewater spill wipes out 175,000 fish north of Birmingham. 175,000 fish. And all the people in the area are complaining that all you can smell are rotten fish. And let's see, what did ADEM say? Yeah, essentially they've taken no action.
Can they?
And they could fine the company so it doesn't happen again. So the whole thing is, you've got to fine the shit out of somebody to make it where they don't want to do it again, right?
Yeah.
Send a message to everybody else, and they're not going to do it because, unfortunately, and I see the side of it as somebody who works in a company that employs people. It's the it's the balance.
You think about how many people Tyson Foods employs
Oh yeah.
in the little small town of Fort Payne, Alabama.
Dude.
That's where it's at. It's up there right around Nakalula
Yeah,
Falls and Little
Yeah.
River and all that. But I don't know what town that is.
I think it said Haynesville or something like that.
Yeah. So you think about that. That's the sole industry up there. Yeah, you got a lot of activists screaming about dead fish, but man,
but it's a thing. But what if
who's
you
got the leverage, right?
Yeah, well, it's not just a leverage, but there you have to have a balance.
That's all it is.
You know, because if you don't balance it, if you overfish, if you over pollute, if you do these things, you can't use those resources anymore, right? You know that the number one resource. I watched this great documentary. I think it was BBC documentary. It was America Before Columbus.
Yeah.
Tremendous documentary, and they talked about the biggest resource missing in Europe, and it was the number one resource in the States when they came over was timber.
Yeah,
they pretty much clear cut everything in Europe.
Oh yeah,
they clear cut everything, and and they said
timber was gold to the Europeans, man.
100%, yeah. And they were just shipping it back just as quick as they almost they killed so much, and they had overfished all the rivers and lakes in Europe. And the only fish they were able to get were sea fish.
Mm-hmm.
And they were overfishing them, right? Because the population expansion there at the time was tremendous.
Yeah.
With the Industrial Revolution and everything. So when they got to the New World, I definitely got my timeline messed up there. But the population was still growing. It wasn't the Industrial Revolution. But just in general, it was growing. And yeah. So
it was their Industrial Revolution at that age. They were figuring things out. That new technology, all that was progressing.
Yeah, a lot of new technology was coming around, but
the population was expanding as well.
Yeah. So the population growth, overconsumption of natural resources, and that's a story of all time. It's overconsumption of natural resources. There's like three. It's a division of the commons, right? It's if everybody is in the same field and we all have the same natural resources. If you have three people in a field and they all have. There's 100 sheep in the field. And you say, well, if all of us only use this amount of sheep per quarter, then this will stay, replenished and reusable, right? Renewable. Well, what if somebody's like, well, I want to grow. I want to grow my people. I want to grow my area. So I need more. And so essentially that it creates what's the word? It's not starvation, but like a quick run. Everybody wants to. It gets this. Well, if he's going to take it, I better get all that I can right now. Because if he's going to get all his, I better get mine. And so it creates this whole run up on things, which is where we're at with CO2 pollution and things like that, right? So yes, the United States, everybody part of the Kyoto Protocol, which are the major industrialized countries, Europe, most of Europe, the U.S., Japan, China. all took part of this, environmental essential treaty where everybody was like, all right, we're all going to scale back coal production. The Kyoto Protocol. That's the one where they all, the carbon taxes. And everybody decided to scale back. Well, the countries that were up and coming, so America got ahead, just like Europe did and everybody else, by coal, right? That's how developing nations got ahead, through that, like coal power, plants and all that kind of stuff. Okay, well, those places that are up and coming, the Congo, undeveloped Eastern European countries, and all these other places that aren't on that level, like, fuck you. You guys use this shit to get ahead. Why can't we use it?
Yeah.
And there's a valid point there, right? You can't tell them, like, hey, I know you guys would love to catch up with us, but we've already passed that and realized it's bad for the environment, so no. And they're like, go fuck yourself. We're going to keep doing this, right? It's like India. India is the biggest polluter. They're trying to catch up with everybody else. And who are we to tell them they can't?
Yeah, they're building their middle class right now.
Yeah. And raping the shit out of people, so they should stop doing that part too. And that's just the news. That's not me being weird, just to be clear. What were we talking about earlier with, shout out to Combat Dad Bags. Let me put this out there. So a guy reached out to us and had messaged us, and they provide essentially dad diaper bags, right? They help out with kids that aren't, ultra feminine like most diaper bags you get. So I will. I'm gonna put this up to Evan's camera, so maybe you can see it. There you go.
So the two things as a dad that I look for, other than clothes, right? Because I'm always shopping for like just cheap deals on clothes.
I think that's males in
like,
general, but as you go, Dad, you quit those same cheap clothes, like the fuckability of those clothes. Like you care less,
right?
Like your Shimano's.
Yes.
So Evan now has a sporty version of Crocs.
Yeah.
The Shimano's, and he loves them. I'm not mad at him.
Can we hold one up? I'm wearing.
Yeah, can we hold one up?
Yeah, hold one up.
So we're gonna hold one up right now.
So not the sexiest looking shoe.
So Evan doesn't have to keep it sexy. He's on round 3 of children right now. That's a shoe. That's a Croc-like shoe. Rubberized. It's got a buckle on it. It's a little step up from the Croc. It's got a little chrome. It looks pretty sleek. It's got some Velcro and a chrome snap buckle.
I don't know what that's used for.
For dad things, maybe put it on like the side of a diaper bag in case you need to go barefoot.
Oh yeah. Shackle
yeah.
on.
So
well,
I budget shop for clothes I think that won't embarrass me. He just budget shops for clothes he thinks are comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreeable.
Oh, yeah. Agreeable. And that's I tell you what. One thing that's been bashed pretty hard is Fratastic or whatever, but the Aftco shorts.
You gotta let that go,
dude. I've had mine for like 8 years.
I mean, if they're good shorts, they're good
just
shorts.
Like utility shorts that are just made out of like the most basic material. They're $55, but they'll last you 8 years.
I would never pay $55 for shorts.
I'm telling you, I wouldn't either. But like, I got a pair for Gaines the other day. Yeah. Take his little butt out of the water, man. Hose him off. He can wear them for the rest of the day. They're the quickest drying. I'm like, man, this is money well spent. But either way,
yeah,
it's stuff like that, and it's hard to see the value. But the three things that I shop for the most here recently, I've been shopping or keeping my eye out for a leather handbag, like a travel carry-on bag that does it all.
Dude,
it looks professional.
I got one for you.
Okay.
I got one. I got a
like Italian leather. What
yeah,
really?
I do. I got a $200 Kenneth Cole bag I bought when I graduated law school because I thought I was gonna be super fancy.
Yeah.
Like in the movies where you slap it up on the table and
Yeah.
start pulling out briefs.
Yeah.
I got one of those.
Is it like
knife? And I was like, oh shit! I guess it
your
is.
little knife
man.
got taken?
No, not on my keychain. I used to have a knife on my carabiner on my backpack, like a Columbia carabiner.
Yeah.
Had a knife and a saw, like a big blade, and like it wasn't hidden. You could fucking see it. It was like a black carabiner. I had like a little pull-out knife thing on it. Dude, I haven't thought about that motherfucker in forever. I used it to clip stupid shit on. Finally, some dude at TSA was like, is that a knife? I was like, yeah, dude. He's like, oh, you can't have that. I was like, oh, shit, I'm really sorry. Fucking throw it away or whatever you got to do. And he's like, after I go through, he goes, nah, you can have it back. And like, he was just going to let me roll with like a 3-inch blade, like back into the airport. His boss almost shit a duck. He goes, no, he can't have that. Fuck, what are you talking about? Throw that away. The guy was like,
oh.
I mean, it was a test. It was a test, boss.
Funny you say that. I had a guy 2 days ago, Friday, call me. He was flying back to Charlotte from Birmingham. And I'd driven over to Atlanta for the day, so I went in town. He calls me. He's like, hey, man, you want a pocket knife? I said, what kind? He's like, little Kershaw, sweet little knife. I'm like, you're at the airport, aren't you? He's like, yep. He's like, I'm here at the Birmingham airport, and I'm going to have to throw it away. I was like, I'm in Atlanta, man. I can't help you, buddy. Sorry. He's like, God,
dude,
dog.
Put it under a brick outside.
Yeah, well, regardless. But the three things I shop for, man, shoes, mainly boots. But shoes.
Yeah, but work boots.
Work boots, yeah. I like to have a nice set of work boots. Something I still hold in high regard. A good handbag, like travel bag. And I like some good pants.
Wait, let me ask you this. So, as both of us pretty much are on the road, if not every week, every other week, right? Which is why our podcasts are so damn stretched out. For those of you who don't know, like I travel. Literally, I'm scheduled every other week.
Yeah.
Like I was in Dallas last week. I'm here this week. I'll be in Houston next week. I'll be in San Diego in a couple of weeks. We're always gone, right? And you're all over everywhere. Same thing. So as people that travel, like, and I'm not like, because I do my own schedule, like I don't really care. Like I don't need the extra 20 minutes. So the bulk of my attire, I do, I check my bag. I carry my backpack with me that has like my actual work shit in case I need to go to work without my like clothes. But all my overnight and like workout gear and all that kind of shit, I put in a bag I check. What about you? Do you do all carry on?
No, I try to do all carry on, but most of the time I check.
You check your bag too?
But that screws me because if my flight gets delayed or if my flight gets canceled and I've checked the bag, I can't tell how many times it's happened, man. 2 months ago when I technically missed my flight, I was an hour early, and they're like, Southwest like, nah, you didn't check in.
No, it was Southwest.
No, not Southwest. American.
Yeah, I told you, America's the piece of shit that'll do that.
That's when I figured out. I'm like, behind
only
the
fly
times,
Southwest, dude. Only fly Southwest.
Check in. What are you talking about? She's like, yeah, you're supposed to check in 48 hours or at least an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, check in like 2 hours early.
Yeah,
with,
or
like,
they
American.
give your seat away.
Yeah, that happened to me. I told you.
I was livid,
dude. The only time
and
I flew
I'd
my
already
bus.
checked my bag. No, I checked my bag. She's like, I can get you on a later flight. Puts me on a later flight.
Charge you for it?
No. Listen to this.
Good.
The later flight comes up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not priority because I've already missed my flight. So they got other people who are waiting in line for that flight. So I'm just in the back of the line waiting on this flight for somebody to get canceled or whatever, not show up. I didn't make that flight because there was an available seat.
Yeah.
So my bags are in Greenville, South Carolina, waiting on me. I'm still in Birmingham. I'm not getting a flight out to the next day. I rent a car, go by the Greenville airport, pick up my bags. That's why I hate checking bags.
I can see that, but dude, I will only fly Southwest. Because of that. Like to this last trip, I booked a super early flight. Like I told you, I had to be up there by 6. Mm-hmm. Like my flight was at 6, so I had to be at the airport by 5. Standard. Yeah. I got there at like 5:15, 5:20. I was running a little behind. Pretty much, because I did check in on the app the day before, so they knew like I'd already checked in, which I think is stupid. If I buy my fucking ticket and I don't cancel it, then I'm fucking checked in. I hate the whole check-in.
My money's there.
My money's there. If I paid you, dickhead, I intend on taking the flight unless I canceled it. But whatever. So I checked in. Dude, they held the fucking flight. Their flight was full. Everybody was on board except for me. Like when I was walking up and it was supposed to take off in 15 minutes, they're like, Mr. McCarn, like Southwest will hold the fucking flight. They will hold the flight for you if you've checked in. Like they will hold the fucking flight. And they've done that for me twice. And if you miss the fucking flight, they'll put you on the very next one. Like I've had zero trouble with Southwest, not one iota. Their planes aren't as nice as Delta's. That's fine.
I love their planes. I love the way they board. They make you stand by post.
I love that. Just pick your own seat, man.
Yeah.
That's the best. Get the fuck out of here. Southwest is the
It's kind of communist, but I like it.
Listen to me. It is the best. No, because no, that's
a little communist.
No, it's not. It's meritocracy, right? Because I can choose. I can choose where I want to sit. I have to choose my place in line based on when I buy my ticket.
Right.
But if I want to sit in the middle and these two assholes up front think they're not going to fucking have somebody sit in the middle because they put their bag there, I love that. These guys will always put their bag or their coat, like the guys that pay for the A1 ticket.
Yeah.
Put a bag and a coat in that middle seat and pretend like somebody's fucking sitting there. And they act like it when people keep breezing by them. I'm like, hey, somebody's sitting there. They're like, what? Who's that? Somebody? Yes, there are. I'm like, is there a person in that seat? Or is that your bag? And they're like, fine. And they get so, they get so mad, dude. I'm like, fuck you. It's a full flight. If it's not a full flight, I'm not going to do that to anybody. But if it's a full fucking flight and I'm going to have to get a middle seat anyways, go fuck yourself. I'm sitting right here. Fucking level 1, bitch.
Mm.
They get a little salty about it. They get a tad salty. But fuck it. I'm not flying American ever again. The worst fucking airline.
I agree.
Dude,
I agree.
They can suck.
I haven't had too many problems with Delta, but
no, Delta's never did me wrong. But I love the customer service of Southwest. Like they don't charge you extra for the bags.
I got you. They
don't charge you if you miss your flight. They just put you on the next flight out. Here. And to change your flight, dude, I've changed my flight on Southwest so many times. Like if I got done with work early, or I wanted to stay somewhere a day late, they don't charge you extra as long as the flight doesn't cost more. They don't charge you. So if I want to leave a day early, I'm like, hey, man, I wrapped up work early. Can I switch my flight? They're like, yeah. When do you want to go? Like, no problem, dude. No fucking problem. So I'm down with Southwest. So if anybody's out there traveling, highly, and I know they wear shorts, and it's hard to trust people who wear shorts in a professional environment. They're all right in my book. All right.
But either way.
So that's Southwest. But back to dad stuff. So we took your kids hiking today.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. That was the first test, man. I've never.
Was it the first time you
never
took them
put
hiking?
them. I've never put them in an environment where they could just.
Well, they had to struggle a little bit.
Yeah, and that's sad because my little girl's 4 and my little boy's 2. I can see it. I say that. We took my little girl when she was 2. We took her to right up there by Tyson Food Plants, actually Fort Payne, and it was freezing cold, man. She was actually younger than 2, so no, I've never put them in extreme settings.
And it was a decent little hike. It was probably a half-mile hike down to the waterfall, and a pretty steep hike.
Yeah,
for the last 50 meters, 100 meters was probably 45 degrees, rocky, and we pretty much had to step on the roots and had to hold their hands with them floating over the ground.
Yeah,
which I told him so like I told you, so I was going to send him down there by himself because he wanted to take him hiking today, get him out of the house, give his wife a break, and who's 8 months pregnant. Give her a break, and I was like, "Well, man, you don't know the area. You haven't been up there, and I go there all the time with mine. So let me take you up. Let's go up there together with the kids. So I don't have my kids this weekend, so we'll go up there and I'll help you out."
Yeah, you were about to send me down there, just
I was about to send you by yourself,
dick in hand.
Yeah, I was like, because I've been there, man. Like I was like,
glad you came.
Yeah, I've been the dad who put himself.
I knew something was up when you said, "I'll come with you," and then you didn't bring your dog. I was like, "Well, you're not bringing Mackenzie." No,
she can't really make it. No, I was like, I started thinking about it. I was like, I'm setting you up for failure, and I was like, I can't really do that to him. It's just one of those things where, like, out of our group of friends, I was the youngest dad, right? The first one was to be a dad. So, like, I've done a lot of these things as a single dad. So I've had 2 kids ever since Liam was born. I've been a single dad. So I've done a lot of these things. We've done little mini adventures just with the 3 of us and my dog. So I've been in shitty situations where I'm like, fuck, I've bitten off more than I can chew. This is going to suck. I've done it a lot, man. That time I've had to, I got put on 10th floor with a balcony when I took the 3 of us to New Orleans one time, and I had to get an extra sheet from downstairs to tie the handles together so my 2-year-old son wouldn't open the door and jump out the goddamn balcony. Because Liam would get up early in the middle of the night and do weird shit and try to escape and do weird stuff. We were on 10th floor and had a balcony.
Where was this at?
I was in New Orleans.
An apartment you were living in?
No, I got a hotel. We were going down to visit. It was after I had not lived there anymore. And so I got us a hotel to go visit because they wanted to go back to the zoo because I was still a member of the Audubon Society. So I knew we could go visit.
There?
No, you were in Baton Rouge.
I know, but didn't I come down and see you one time?
Yeah, you came down to see us that trip.
Was it?
That was that trip.
Oh, yeah.
It sure was. That was that trip. You had Sage was a brand new baby.
Yeah.
Sage was a brand new baby.
That was a good time. That was a good trip.
But yeah, it was that trip where I literally had so imagine Gaines. Imagine you, Gaines, and Sage. Same age, because your kids are same age gap, so the same age right now they are right now.
Yeah.
The 3 of you staying in a hotel that has balcony French doors opening up to like a balcony that's literally 10 stories up.
Yeah.
And I don't know how Gaines is, but Liam used to get up at 6 or 5:30.
Yes, exactly.
And get into all the shit, right?
Burn the house down.
Yeah. So, and I was so scared, man. Like, when I realized I had a balcony, I was like, oh no. Because I didn't know when I booked the hotel. So I got an extra flat sheet from downstairs, and I had to and I fucking woke up, man. Let me tell you, that shit was cracked. He had tried. He had for sure tried to open that door. I'm like, man, I'd have been on the news.
I came up to that hotel room.
Yeah, you did.
I was in there. Okay.
Yeah, same hotel.
So we stayed in a hotel or a condo down in Panama City a couple weeks ago on the 20th floor. Yeah.
How'd they deal with that?
Well, the doors were like the hurricane proof, like you got to be Courtney couldn't open it.
Heavy door.
And you go out on that balcony, dude, and they got this little aluminum handrail. You're like, what is that going to stop?
Not a damn thing.
And, dude, he's like, kids are just, they don't realize.
No, I mean, they don't, especially.
Look down there.
Little boys don't have that sense of danger, They're just so,
No.
And it's awesome. I love that. Like,
I see that in a lot of the iron workers I work with now. What? They never lost that, or they never gained that sense of danger.
Yeah.
They came straight out of high school and are working, and they're up 500 foot on walking a steel beam, not tied off.
Oh.
And I'm like, man, you got to tie off. Man, I've been doing this for years.
Don't you worry about me.
Tie off. And I'm up there white knuckled, walking the rails like, ugh.
Bro, you won't even get me up there. You won't even get me up there.
I've done it 4 or 5 times since I've worked with this company I'm with now, and it's not good.
It's nerve wracking, isn't it?
It is not good.
Dude, those guys that get up there. But here's the thing, man. There's courage, and then there's being stupid. Now, some of those guys have courage, and some of them are stupid. And I say stupid in the way that, in a beneficial way to them, because it helps them make money. They don't appreciate the danger they're in. Mm-hmm. When you're too dumb to realize how much danger you're in, and you don't care, well, it's not courage. Courage is knowing the danger and going forward anyways, right? Mm-hmm. You should be afraid. If you're facing certain death and you're not afraid at all, then you're dumb.
Yeah.
You're not smart. Courage isn't that. Fearless is dumb. Courage is absolutely going, I could fucking die.
Yeah.
If I don't do what I'm supposed to do, I'm going to fucking die. And that's having the courage to still move forward, right?
Yeah.
That's different.
So I will say this. So when I first started working there, we had a kind of a team meeting, brought everybody together, and one of the guys who I thought was probably going to be one of the worst.
You know what? Let me rephrase that. I don't mean dumb. I think they lack the imagination to. It's not dumb. They're not dumb guys.
There's some dumb ironworkers.
No, but they're not dumb. I don't mean to say dumb. That sounds very dismissive. What I mean to say is, I think they honestly lack the imagination to understand how it could go wrong. And I don't think that's necessarily dumb. They're smart enough to be an iron worker, right?
Yeah.
They're not an idiot. They can't just work a shovel. So they're smart enough to do what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Make a shit ton of money doing it. So they're not dumb. I think they lack the imagination to appreciate the danger. They can't see how it could go wrong.
Most of them, yes.
So let me say that.
Okay. To that, yes.
I don't mean to be insulting.
But, this is where I was getting. So, guy, start working there. He's one of our top guys. I mean, can climb 400, 500, 600 foot in the air, not think nothing about it. Been in the industry a long time. We had our kind of a yearly annual team meeting, and my boss asked him to give a speech on safety. He said, I want you to talk about this, and this, and we're going to approach a lot of different topics in this thing, but the main one's going to be safety. And all of them complain about tying off. I got to tie off my tool, tether my tools to me. I got a 16-pound sledgehammer. I got to tie it to me. He said, it's just gotten ridiculous. All these safety requirements and guidelines now that we have to abide by are ridiculous.
Yeah,
and some of them are redundant. But I'll say this: he got up there, man, and I didn't expect this from him, but it was pretty touching. He said, all this safety stuff, I feel like is bullshit. He said, but every time I get up there, he said, I remember 2 dates. And he listed the dates off, and I've got them written down on my desk, actually. I wrote them down. And you can Google them, and it shows exactly what happened on those dates if you type in the right words. He said, on those 2 dates, he said, first date, I lost my brother.
Damn.
He said he was rigging up a piece, and they were flying it up, hit some power lines, electrocuted him.
Damn.
He said, so I get the electrical safety part of it. He said, next one was I got down to the ground, just climbed off a tower crane that was 500 foot in the air. And I was looking up, and I saw my buddy out like on the jib of the tower crane, the part that swings horizontal.
Yeah.
He said he was out on the jib, and they were messing with the trolley. And the trolley is the thing that runs out and it carries.
Hey man, did you see that movie Skyscraper with The Rock?
Yes. Yeah.
So he goes out on that thing.
Yeah.
I literally was like, I had butterflies in my stomach watching him do that.
It's nuts, man.
What they do is just watching him do it on a fucking movie had me like nervous. I was like, God, dog.
So this guy he's talking about
was doing that.
Was out on the jib, and apparently the operator or something happened with the trolley where it moved, and it's just on wheels rolling up and down that.
It's on a cable, right, or something.
Well, there's a cable that pulls it, like on a pulley system, but it has wheels that guide it. Yeah, rides the the cords of the actual jib, the horizontal part. Well, something happened to where it rolled and it kicked out his feet from underneath him.
Oh my God.
And he grabbed the hoist rope, which is the main cable line that runs through the trolley and goes down to your hook block. That's what you pick your loads with and all that. Grabbed it, and it's got grease on it. It's got cable grease on it.
Oh.
And he said it's just like holding it there with that one little glove he had on, you know. And he said, man, he was looking up there at him. He saw him fall. He's like, holy crap. He's like, he's going to be glad he tied off. Well, about that time, the dude just like drops to the ground. Bust like a grape. He's like, so whenever I start thinking all this safety bullshit is not in my best interest, he's like, I remember those 2 dates. He's like, and I don't care.
If he had been tied off, that wouldn't happen. Right?
I don't, yeah, dude. That is it, man. I mean, 500 foot from the ground, you're dead.
Now, if I'm 6 feet off the ground, I know I'm supposed to be tied off on a platform. You suck it.
Yeah.
If I'm over 6 feet, but you know what? Hey,
where does it start though? You know,
I was about to say that. So I just read a terrifying article where a kid was at one of these trampoline fun houses that kids go to, love. But it wasn't on the trampoline. It was on the rock wall part, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on the rock wall part, he fell 9 feet. And they don't, they have these suspension pulleys they work like an elevator. So the more tension, the slower it goes. I don't know what you call them, a static pulley or something like that. That's what all the rock wall climbing places use. So instead of having somebody on the ground that's you're counting on that person having you, this pulley will slow you down no matter what. No matter if you're 50 feet up and jump off, it's going to slow you down enough to where it's not going to hurt you. You're going to fall 20 feet a second. Or no, 5 feet a second. Just, but the kid was like 9 feet up. And I guess it was so low to the ground it didn't catch. And so he just fell 9 feet back on his head and snapped his neck. He was like an 11-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Dude. So, I mean, you never know. I get the safety aspect at work. We just hired a new safety guy, and a lot of our customers a lot of our salespeople are getting pissed because he's pointing out a lot of things our customers are doing with our employees. Or he's like, hey, man, they're not doing this right. They're not doing this shit right. People are getting hurt. It's not even worth being out there working for this customer. If people are going to be getting hurt because they're not doing the right safety things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you do a cost benefit. You're like, yeah, they're $20 million a year customer, but we've got $30 million in work comp claims.
So we did a SWOT analysis this past week at our company.
What is a SWOT analysis?
Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Okay.
It's like one of the most basic fundamentals in business school. When you go through business school or whatever, that's kind of what you learn, right? Okay, so the SWOT analysis. So I thought it was kind of like cheesy that they made us do one, but our safety guy got up there, and it was all the managers in our company got up and talked.
Yeah.
And now we've got 15. Well, I say 15. The equipment supply side of our business has 8 branches.
Yeah.
And we're constantly expanding to follow the parent company. He got up there and he said, and cranes are some of the riskiest things we do. So I was expecting to get up there and talk a little bit more about cranes. But he's like, Evan, man, I'm not going to, really, honestly, you guys are probably one of the safest groups we manage. But he said, the things that keep me up at night are the DOT regulations and our trucking, over-the-road trucking. He's like,
yeah,
one piece of equipment. He said, you know how much stuff we ship out to jobs each day? Hundreds of pieces of equipment. He's like, one piece of equipment didn't chain down right, or we don't use the right size chain on a piece of equipment that weighs more than the rated capacity of those chains, or one blown tire or whatever. He said that we could take out a family. He said, your wife's driving on the road, something falls off a trailer that we didn't tie down properly. That wipes them out.
Yeah, that probably is your biggest.
Dude, it opened my eyes. I'm like, holy smokes.
Yeah.
So, on a tangent here, or a rabbit hole, whatever you call it, but man, I was like, man,
safety first, people.
You don't think about.
Dude, it is the little things, man.
Where's your most exposure? So, but back to what we were saying about our kids and our hike. First time I'd ever really put them to the test, dude, and it was only for about an hour.
Yeah.
But dude, they were wiped. Like we got them. They barely made it down there. And then they were just, you could tell they were
But it's like I told you. So like I've done both of these hikes with my kids. I've done them with the younger side of them. Now they're older; they can handle a much longer hike. But I knew if I sent you on the lighter hike where you wouldn't see anything really cool, but you could just kind of play in the woods, they would make it about this far. I knew on the waterfall hike, it's a short hike. It's relatively easy until you get to the It's relatively easy until you get to the steep side. There you go. Till you get to the steep side by the waterfall, the last 50, 100 meters, something like that. I knew you're going to need another adult. There's no way to get little kids down there without another adult, just because the way it is. Because I could barely get my dog down there, and so I was like, man, for the maximum fun, the waterfall would be the ticket, and so I should go with you. That way, I know you guys can go do that. But yeah, it was interesting to see you deal with your kids, go through that from that perspective, because I remember doing that with my little kids, and just like the safety aspect and learning how much they know about. What we got? A little bit in there, but like you can see, Sage was a lot more safe than Gaines, right?
Yeah.
Like Gaines was like, "Let's go, Daddy. Let's go.
Yeah. Jump.
Jump." And I have to do that with Liam. Like I tell you, man, my thing with Liam is like, we see something that looks gnarly. I'm like, buddy, I want to jump off that too, but we'll die. I want you to have the maximum amount of fun, but not die. Do you understand that? Like, I love you. I want us to have all the fun, but not die. So work with me. Just work with me a little bit. Just work with me. Hold my hand. Because with us, because you had your daughter, you had your son, and I had your daughter, we could step down, and then you had Gaines, and we
forced him to pace himself.
Oh man, and he was pissed.
Yeah,
he was mad. He's like, "Daddy,
you get down there,
jump!" But it was good, man. They enjoyed it. But as soon as we got up, dude, kids. If you don't have little kids, this won't make sense. But if you have kids, you get it. Their motors are at red line RPMs all day, which is why they nap. They can nap twice a day because they burn through all the fuel in their little body. Will drive you crazy, but then all of a sudden they just crash and it's a wrap. You're like, what the shit was that? Because like we as adults, I think we ration our energy out.
Oh yeah.
Our bodies, and we've learned to ration our energy. Where you don't red line, you're not at a sprint. And like they don't know not to sprint. They're just like, nah. So as soon as we got back out of the waterfall, they were done. They were pissy, whiny. I need food. I need water.
Ice cream.
Where's your truck?
Popsicles.
I need a popsicle. Where's a popsicle? You're like, we're in the woods. Like they were like completely disenchanted with the woods.
Yeah.
They were done.
How do you throttle forward on the girls and then throttle back on the boys to get that balance?
Man, with the boys, they don't like it, but as long as they understand it's coming from a good place, they just have to know. Like Liam, at his age he's at now, he knows. I absolutely want him to have the best time. I love him. Like he doesn't question when I tell him to rein it in. He used to obviously throw a fit, just like Gaines did. But at 7, where he's at now, he's like, he gets it. I'm like, buddy, no, ease up. He's like, oh, okay. He gets it. Leighton's always been like that. The daughter, she's always been like, she's been game.
Yeah.
Stays right in the hip pocket, does whatever I tell her to do. She's never had a problem. But Liam, he's finally at the age where he understands, like, okay, Dad wants me to have a lot of fun. Like when I took him to the caves for his birthday, where I needed to throttle myself back, and I didn't realize it till I was already in a precarious position. I was like, oh. So like the stuff we went down today, imagine that over 100 feet and with a giant canyon going down another 180 feet, and it's wet. And I was just like, wow, son, I've put us in a bit of a pickle here. And he was like, what? Can we not go out there? I was like, no, we can't. Daddy's done what you would do. Like I've done like adult version of you right now. We got to go back up, buddy. Like we have no cell phone reception. Nobody knows we're down here. We got a permit. Ain't nobody coming looking. We got to get out of here.
You had to get a permit?
Yeah, they only allow 4 people to go down there a day. And they keep a camera at the main gate. It's dangerous. They allow 4 permits per day. The permit can have 2 adults
Yeah, you're nuts.
Well, it looked a lot more tame. And then I got down in there, and like it had been raining, so there were 3
That's where
waterfalls.
the kid died, right?
Yeah, there were a lot of people die
Really?
because I thought they were coming in through the vertical. I thought that's how most of them died. Once I got in there, I realized how dangerous it actually was. I was like, "Oh, this is a lot more dangerous than I had anticipated." Because the articles, I read up on it a lot, and I was like trying to evaluate what we're actually capable of doing. So we did some caving at a real like touristy place, and this was private. This is straight up spelunking, right? Like people like come down on carabiners and ropes and out of one entrance to the cave. Then there was a walk-in entrance I thought would be way more
Tame.
way more amateur level stuff that we could handle no problem. But they for sure was like, you definitely can't go down there without a helmet. Got to have helmets. So we brought our bike helmets. We didn't have any ropes or carabiners or anything, but I was like, it looked like it was hikeable. And man, we got down in there. I was like, dude, this is so dangerous. I'm being a bad dad right now. Definitely being a bad dad. And I was like, I fucking want to kick my own ass for getting you down there. And he was so game because they're like, there's this pedestal you would have to jump to. It was like just death on every side of it. It was like essentially a stalagmite grown up in the center of it with a flat pedestal at the top.
Yeah.
Just off a ledge that's like just death all around it. Just 100 feet down. I think it's 180 feet on either side of it. And he was like, can we get out of that? Because it looks super cool because there's the entrance right above it, right? To where water and sunlight pour straight down on this cool looking pedestal, like just off the ledge of the inside of the cave. And we were like, and like I had it in my head that we would make it out to it. I don't know why. But I was just like, I was looking at it, I was like, oh, buddy, Daddy's done a bad. Like I'm you. I'm a bigger version of you right now, and I've made a huge mistake. You know.
My dad and I did the same thing. I was 18 though. It was right before I joined the military.
Yeah.
Graduated high school. We want to go on this long, cool trip. Went to Little River Canyon.
You told me about it.
Yeah.
You told me you went to Little River Canyon. I didn't know about it.
Yeah. He's like, man, we could just hike down in it. So we had to jump off this cliff in the water with all our stuff. And there was a way back up, but we just didn't feel like going that way. So we jumped off in the water with all our stuff, swam over to the bank, got all of it out. I mean, had all of it in like, wet, dry stuff. Had this rucksack with me here.
Yeah.
And, man, we walked down this ravine. And I'm talking about like steep hills, boulders the size of like buildings. And I look back on it now, I'm like, 40-year-old man and an 18-year-old boy walking out in there. One false move, it's a broke leg, something.
That was the thing. At least you were 18, and
Yeah.
you probably could have carried your dad out, or at least hiked back out and figured something out.
Yeah.
My boy was turning 7 that day, so like I realized like I was the same kind of situation. Like I was in sketchy territory for me as an adult. And in all honesty, it was almost a mile trek up some sketchy way to get in.
Yeah.
There was no way possible because I had to swing him over a ledge to even get out there. And I probably could have went. There's probably a longer way. I think that was the main trail I was on. I probably could have diverted. And it wasn't too sketchy, but like there's no way a 7-year-old was going to navigate back out to the road.
Yeah.
Back out and figure out something. There was no way. And I realized it's like I've got us up here in like a shitty situation, and we don't need to be here, man. And it's just one of those things where like I think after that, ever since that trip, he's just kind of been like, Dad gets it. Dad's down.
So you ever seen the movie Surviving the Game?
100%.
Have you really?
Yeah, bro.
The Ice-T?
Ice-T.
Yeah.
Dreadlocks. He was the homeless guy.
Yeah.
I fucking love that movie.
So the guy that brings his son out there, teaching him like a life lesson,
yeah.
like kill another
Life
human
lesson
being.
how to
So,
hunt other people.
As a dad, I get that. Like, I want to do that with my son.
Wait.
one day.
Stop. Clarify.
Clarify. I'm going to say that I want to teach.
You
my
don't want to
son-
hunt Ice-T.
No. Shit, no. So what? So I would like to be able to take my son and push him, especially your son, right? That's kind of like the
Yeah.
manly thing to do. whatever you want to call it. But I would like to be able to build character in him all the way up to that point, and then to give him a final test.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that? Why do we do that?
Well, I think like in that movie, it shows the flaw in that. It's not your. It's, no. I think for me, I think, and it's just like I talk about with my daughter, and I understand where you're coming from the son, because you want your son to be as good or a better man than you are yourself, right?
10 times, yeah.
You want them to be. But which I think that means, though, is not you supplying the curriculum, you supplying the tools. For me, I think that is.
What are the tools?
Well, it's like our dads, right? We've definitely ventured down roads our dad haven't been down. They didn't give us some final test we had to pass for manhood. They gave us the tools to, like, don't be a piece of shit. Be fiscally, financially, ethically responsible, and go out into the world and live a good life and be a good man, right?
Yeah.
They didn't give us a test. They gave us the tools. We test ourselves, right? I'm with you. I do like. I like taking it because I think more than a test, I think it's a lesson. I think it's a lesson in that, like, if that kid had survived in that movie, he'd have learned, like, don't fucking hunt human beings. My dad's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Right? There, you can take it too far. Like, if that kid would have survived the movie, he'd been like, you could definitely take this too far. Like, it would have been a lesson. It's not about the test. You test yourself every day, I think. Like, if you're not better than you were the day before, then, and I know that's tough. That's a high standard, but I think that's the goal, right? Is to be better than you were yesterday. Oh, and if you're doing that, then you're fine. You don't have to compare yourself to somebody else. It's just as long as you compare yourself to yourself. Am I better than I was yesterday? And I think that's the only way to test yourself. If you evaluate yourself, like, did I make better decisions? Did I wake up on time? Did I get to work on time? If you did it the day before and you didn't do it today, then what am I doing? You're going in reverse. I think that's the test. It's like, life's not a sprint; it's a marathon. So everything is a test. I think that would have been a lesson, but I 100% agree that you want to put your children in those crucibles, right?
I saw it today, man.
Yeah,
I saw it today.
Yeah, I mean, well, at that age, I don't think
on a micro scale, but
on a micro scale. But at the same time, like, Gaines wasn't afraid. His body just quit on him. He doesn't have
yeah.
He was done, dude.
My legs are 12 inches.
Yeah, my legs are 12 inches.
What do you expect?
It takes 10 of his steps to equal one a year.
So I think the military did that for my dad. Like, he saw that, okay, he made it to the military. He succeeded, did all that. I can check out.
Yeah, I told
you. Just like yours, yeah.
Yeah, my dad gave me, he was like, that was when we first, like, okay.
Yeah.
Everything he's done, I'm not worried about him as a man, but, like, just guidance as, like, as him being my father is different at that point. He's not worried about me being a boy and growing into a man. He's worried about me as a man making decisions now.
Yeah.
It's different.
Dude, I'm telling you, that when my dad told me that, he said, how did he put it? Basically, he said, I got all the way through my childhood and teens with my dad, but the time I needed him the most was from 24 to 35.
Yeah.
The times where I was a grown man with a family making decisions.
Yeah.
That's when I needed him most.
Yeah. Because he's the other grown man in your life that has 100% your best interest at heart. I mean, there's very few people in the world that have 100% your best interest at heart.
Oh, I know.
And you would think that, like, your dad, he's been the grown man before you. So you have another grown man who's traveled a path and has 100% the best. And I say grown man in that not in a sexist machismo way. I mean, and then, like, I can offer guidance to my daughter as best I can, but I've never walked in a female's shoes. That's a grown woman.
Yeah.
So I can't relate to her on that way. I can talk to her about life. I can talk to her about how men think, but I'm never going to be able to tell her how a woman should act or how a woman should view things. Because everything I'm telling them is from the outside looking in. Yeah. And unfortunately, she only has her mother to tell her that.
Nowadays, that could be a man, though.
you know what? Maybe her mom's identifying with me. Maybe I'm gender fluid whenever she's up, and I'm like, you know what?
Dude, yeah.
I'm feeling very womanly. I may lay it out for you. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I've never had to walk around in a bar and worried about getting raped.
Yeah,
that's not a fear you or I have.
You haven't?
I've been in some sketchy. sketchy bars. Don't get it twisted. I've definitely feared for my backside. The
What
old,
was the good to the last drop chick
goodness.
and
Oh goodness,
Yeah.
that is scary. Let's not go there.
no?
Nope,
Yeah.
not gonna go there.
All right.
Just saying, men have to watch out for certain things as well.
Yeah.
We do, but not the same way a woman does, right? Like we don't have that same kind of fear. And so, like, for me to give her that kind of advice, but for my son, I can give him advice on how to treat a woman, on how to not be a sexual predator, how to not be a piece of shit. I can give him that advice.
Yeah.
Right? I can give him those tools. I can't test him on those. I can't, like, put him in a situation where a girl's passed out next to him, like, hey, don't touch your titty.
Yeah.
You know, like, I can't put him in that situation legally. Never would. I'm just saying that, like, you know, he'll be in compromised situations. I just want him to have the right tools, the ethics, the responsibility and the ethics you teach them of what to do in certain situations. Like if you see somebody, like if your buddy is being kind of a shithead because he's kind of drunk and this girl he was out with is kind of passed out and he's kind of molesting her a little bit, even though he doesn't realize it. You're like, hey man, she's not even awake, dude. Chill. Like you want your kid to be able to say that because we both have daughters. We for sure want somebody to be able to say that for our daughter.
Yeah.
If they're in that situation. Because they probably will be. They're going to grow up. They're going to be women. They're going to go to college. They're going to have a good time. Was that comedian Dan Cummins? He's like, you want to talk about sexism? He's talking about how guys talk about their sons in college. He's like, oh, is he dating anybody? No, he's out there playing the field, man. You know what I was talking about. Lots of ladies, that whole thing. He's like, what if guys talked about their daughters like that? Boyfriend, no, she's getting all the dick she can. She gets it from her mom. She's out there. She's taking care of business. Like that's the inverse of that. Like no dad is saying that proudly. But that's the inverse, So you want to be able to teach your son those same ethics and have your daughter understand like that's how women, should be treated, etc. I think. And back to the surviving the game, I think Ice-T taught everybody a valuable lesson. Like don't think you can hunt homeless people
Or anybody.
or really strong homeless people like Ice-T.
Yeah.
Like I told you, I watched that movie The Edge last night.
Oh yeah,
which we both agree is fucking great. But if nobody has seen The Edge, watch it. Anthony Hopkins, Alec Baldwin, some other people. Black guy dies first. Shocker. Pretty much. I can't like I saw that in my head. I was like, really? Every fucking movie? But he did.
Hey, there's for dads out there who are in the Netflix and probably don't have cable or whatever, but you stream movies, whatnot. Amazon, Netflix, really good movie out there. Ice Piercer, or
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen it. I've seen it advertised. Is it good? I haven't watched it yet.
It's got Ed Harrison.
Snowpiercer.
Amazing.
It's got Ed Harrison.
Amazing.
Ed Harris.
Ed Harris.
That's my dude, man. From The Abyss.
Oh yeah.
From The Abyss.
The Abyss. The Rock.
The Rock.
Nicolas Cage.
Dude, The Rock.
Nicolas
Cage. Sean Connery.
Sean
Connery. Get the fuck out of here.
Classics in there, dude.
Ed Harris, Nick Cage, Sean Connery. Shut your fucking face if you don't love that movie. If you don't love that movie,
I love it. Love it.
Fucking
love
die.
It.
Fucking die if you don't love that movie.
My go-to on Sunday afternoons is The Rock. I can watch that any day.
I can watch it.
Always on TNT or some.
It's like that movie and fucking Shawshank.
Shawshank Redemption. Anytime. I can watch that anytime. Roadhouse with Patrick.
Roadhouse is on Amazon Prime right now.
It's on Netflix. It's on Netflix.
Is it?
Yeah.
They copy it. They're like, oh, is it on fucking
Roadhouse? I can watch any day of the week. I just
thought you'd be bigger.
You know what else I thought I could watch?
I thought you'd be bigger.
I know, right? You know what else I thought I could watch again? The Indiana Jones.
But which one?
Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom, not so much. But if you don't love The Last Crusade with Sean Connery.
Last Crusade, I can't watch it.
What?
Look at the acting.
You're going to... Ryan Schaub told me he watches it every day with his kids.
It's horrible.
Dude, I fucking love The Last Crusade. What?
Just watch it. When's
I
the last
did.
time you watched it?
Like a week ago. What are you talking about?
Horrible.
It's on Netflix right now.
I know. Horrible. Trash. I couldn't believe it. I was like, Spielberg produced this? The
Bro,
acting
it's
in
so
it's
good.
horrible.
It's so good.
So that,
Temple of Doom? You don't like...
I love Temple of Doom. I loved it. That was my first Indiana Jones to watch ever,
yeah.
and there still holds a fond spot in my heart.
Short Round.
Yeah.
Short Round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The little Asian kid.
Yeah.
But...
Dr. Jones. Dr. Jones.
So that, yeah. If Snowpiercer's on Netflix, man, amazing.
Is it good? What's it about?
Man,
I don't even know.
Amazing.
What's it about?
You'll just have to watch it, but it's about... Basically, it's the human race went almost extinct, and they got everybody on this train right before this just nuclear holocaust, eternal winter started. And it's just this train making this loop around the world that this guy built right before the end of civilization. And that's the guy, Mr. Wilson, or Mr. Winfield, I think his name was. But basically, they're going around this loop, and it's been going on for 20 years.
Nice.
And they've created this hierarchy within the train. So everybody that's high class is up towards the front, up towards the engine.
Yeah.
Right? They get all the fresh water, the stuff that... They got this huge scoop on the front of the train that scoops up snow.
Yeah.
And it processes it into, like, fresh water. And then, whatever else it can scoop up. And then all the people in the tail are like the lower class. And they're basically back there eating each other and all that stuff in the beginning. And then they figure out a way to feed them. And it's basically they're eating the shit and the bugs and all that stuff left over from the scoop. And the other people like that are consuming the food and stuff that's already on the ecosystem of the train. So after 20 years, these people get just fed up with it. Well, I'm not going to spoiler alert here. I'm not going to do it. But there's a lot of twists, a lot of turns. They figure out how to get out of the tail and make their way up the train and like revolt.
Wait,
have
you ever seen The People Under the Stairs?
Yes. Yes, I have. I saw it a long time ago.
Dude, how good was that movie?
I haven't heard of it since, though.
Dude, I talked about this with some people, random people at the bar the other night. And like somebody was talking about like classic like horror movies, how the horror movies now suck. But like horror movies where you root for the bad guys, like the creeps.
Yeah.
People Under the Stairs, man.
That was it.
And that was a good one. Like
that.
we're talking about like great horror movies where you root for the bad guys. Gremlins, People Under the Stairs, Ghoulies,
Pet Sematary.
Pet Cemetery.
I was talking to a guy about Pet
fucking
Sematary the other day.
Critters. Do you remember Critters?
I remember Critters, yeah.
Critters is on
Arachnophobia.
Arachnophobia, where you thought it was like horror movies where like the bad guy is really cool. You know what I mean? Like where the bad guy, you're like, oh, that's really cool. Or like Nightmare on Elm Street. Like Freddy Krueger was kind of a cool bad guy. You're like, he did like funny shit. Like
Freddy Krueger scared the living bejesus out of me.
Dude, my parents like Hellraiser. Like Hellraiser was cool.
Yeah,
they did Freddy versus Jason. Or like my parents were really like big horror buffs. I tell you, my parents fucking watch creepy shit. And like my kids were over there.
So dark.
What?
No wonder you're so dark.
Dude, my parents fucking like. Dude, they keep on like people getting skinned alive. They pull out one titty on TV and they're like, "Cover your eyes." I'm 7. One titty on TV. Cover your eyes. People getting their skin peeled off their face. Not even
Hellraiser.
Dude, they watch it now. And I'm like, Mom, turn the TV. She's like, what? I'm like, and then my dad like hears me say fuck, and he's like, son. I'm like, are you serious? We fucking serious right now? Like, you don't give a fuck about people getting blasted to pieces, like chopped into little bits. That's all cool. But one little F-bomb, one titty, lock it up. Lock it up right now.
I can remember when I saw
or something gay. Dude, don't let something gay come on the TV. But as my parents loved my gay friend in high school, they were like, my mom was always under the impression she was confused. She's just confused. I'm like, no, she only likes girls.
Yeah.
She's like, nah, she's confused.
She has a clear direction there.
Yeah.
Still does.
Hasn't varied. Been gay her whole life.
She's got a better woman picker than I did.
Oh, for sure. But I'm just saying, like, my parents were just like, I think there's ignorance in the way of not like stupidity, but ignorance in the way of like blissful ignorance. Just like when they like people, I'm like, yeah. So I tried to like coach them up on it. I'm like, So gay people aren't bad, right? It just makes you a little uncomfortable with their choices. But that's okay because you can still like those people. They're not bad people. You're just uncomfortable with their choices. And that's fine. Because if you believe whatever you believe, that they're going to settle up at the end anyway.
That's a heart move. That's like, okay, yeah, that great person. My heart wants to tell me to do that, but my religion, my morals, my southern upbringing has told me different. My heart tells me different.
Dude, the same bullshit like when our buddy who we played football with, Steven, like stayed with me, and like my parents didn't think anything about it. They loved Steve. He was fine. Yeah. And then like my aunt was like, "Oh, you let a black guy stay with you?" My parents like, "What do you mean?" And like
hide your women, hide your
yeah, like it didn't even register to my parents, and I think that goes into why my parents weren't activists in any way, but they just didn't. The racism, like race wise, didn't register them as much as the shittiness of somebody was more of a register. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just kind of weird with that aspect. Did you ever deal with that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because we play football. All of our friends we have black friends, white friends we play football with.
I probably dealt with a little more racism than you. Maybe not. I don't know, but my extended family was pretty out there when it came to that kind of stuff, and
that's what I mean. But like, not your immediate family.
No. As a matter of fact, when I was in boot camp, I probably won't tell that story. But my grandmother came out to see us when I graduated boot camp. My grandmother, my granddad, and my parents, my granddad, my parents, my grandparents came out to see me. And I was one set. We all went to see a movie after get Liberty for like 2 hours after we graduated, right?
Right.
So we would go out to eat, see a movie, then come back. We all kind of like adopted certain people in the unit that didn't have parents that came saw them, right?
Everybody does that. Yeah.
So I brought out the guy, and he was from Seattle, and come to find out, he was engaged to a girl who was beautiful black girl, beautiful. I was like, dadgum, like how did you do that? This guy's got like bottle cap glasses, the BCGs,
Oh yeah.
And we get out to dinner, and we go see the movie I, Robot.
Nice.
Came out that year, and we get back in the car and riding
Shout out
on
to
the
Will
road.
Smith.
Yeah, riding on the road, and my grandmother said, I asked her, how'd you like the movie, Mama? She said, oh, I love that movie. That was a good movie. She said, I tell you what, that Denzel Washington and that Will Smith, they are both good-looking you-know-whats.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I didn't think nothing of it because I'd heard it my whole life. And I looked over at him, and he looked like he had swallowed his tongue. He was... he hadn't. I don't know that he had ever heard that word.
Yeah,
so
when you don't hear it,
yeah,
in a very long time, and you hear somebody say it in that way, it definitely sends you for a loop. You go, wait, what?
She didn't miss a beat.
No, but you know what? It's not excusable.
She's 78 years old.
It's 100% not excusable, right?
That was in 2000.
Doesn't make it right.
No, not at all. Like,
doesn't make it right, but at the same time, she's always.
But I had to step back and thinking, like, man, I looked at him and I saw his reaction. I'm thinking to myself, I didn't even have a reaction. Like,
yeah.
What? Like, that took me by.
It's weird when like you just know certain people act a certain way. You just kind of brush it off.
Accept it. Yeah. Yeah.
Even though you yourself aren't in the same boat, you're just kind of like, I know that kind of person just kind of rolls whatever kind of way, But at the same time, man, like, I could say the same kind of people, like with my aunt, or like not my aunt, but like just like extended family, just like with that same time, not coming at them super sideways and letting them just kind of see the positive aspects of things is a definite. I think is more beneficial and kind of acclimating them to like understanding like, hey, it's not a thing.
And I've told Courtney this 1,000 times. I was like, man, and she's actually better about it than I am. But she said that like people go to church with and kids that they see on a weekly basis as they go to like the children's museum or the park or the splash pad and stuff. She's like, I don't even want to I avoid even calling them like white or black kids. Like we don't even say it. We're like, hey, we're going to play with so-so.
My daughter's best friend who was just visiting, right, is biracial. And that was her best friend forever. and it just never registered her that she was a different quote unquote race. Like I hate even like it just when she was like, "Was there brown people?" She didn't say like she doesn't know like the classification. She's like, "So they're like brown people, and then they're like white people, huh?" Like she asked me, she's like 3 or 4, and I was like, "Well, baby, kind of, but I mean, everybody looks different." I was like, "Your mom doesn't look like me. Like I don't look like so and so. Like everybody looks different." As I tried to go that way with her, obviously society's going to teach them those things.
Well, she's smart enough to figure it out.
Well, I mean, school, you have to, once you start checking boxes, white, black, Native American, Asian, like once you start checking the boxes and realize you fit in a box, I think that you can't escape it at that point, right? So, but when she was little, she didn't like, it wasn't a thing. It was just so.
Why do you think we have those boxes, by the way? What is it for benefits or for?
No, it's not. It's not a benefit.
Society to give.
It's just easier for people to classify their tribes. I think.
Identify, yeah.
But I think there's so much gray area. Just because you have so many biracial couples, like I've definitely dated outside my race, and it's not something that, like I even take note of. It's just girl's good looking, she's cool, date her,
Yeah.
That's
one thing I will discriminate on is if she's got to be good looking.
Yeah, no, like good looking and not a piece of shit.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, and I think most people now, our age group are much more in line with that. Mm-hmm. I think it's a changing of the guard we're going through. Mm-hmm. But I think there's definitely a lot of ignorance floating around for sure. But I think it's for sure changing of the guard. Because my buddy lives in Lexington, right? Like he's a lighter skinned, super handsome black dude. Looks kind of like Mario Van Peebles, and his girlfriend is as white as driven snow. Like she is white, brother. She is white. And he's like, and up there in Lexington, man, he gets weird looks. And I was like, what, really? And like he catches shit up there. And I was like, man, ugh. Like it's just kind of like, it's gross.
Gross.
It's just gross. I'm like, oh, you guys are mad because he's super nice to his girlfriend, or like what's? He's not like kicking her ass, or like I'm like, what is the what's the problem here? Like I don't know, it's just weird. But at the same time, like as somebody who has a daughter and have a son, I don't give a shit who they're with, as long as they treat each other well, and they love each other. Like happy for you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. It's a we both have been born and raised in the South, and it's obviously something that is not. It's a lot. It's way better than when we were younger. But the fact that it's still not like it's still registering for people as like an issue, like that. So I just read in the news that a biracial couple in Birmingham here were attacked. There's a biracial couple that are realtors. Have a beautiful, happy family. They have like 6 kids or something. And somebody dropped the N-word, in lover, or something really nasty on one of their realty signs. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. You don't have bigger fish to fry? Like that's your problem?
That's the thing. Like who has time to focus on
what
that?
The fuck? How much time did you spend on that, you piece of shit? Like, did you just have a can of spray paint and that much hate that day? You're just like cruising by? Or did you actually go home and be like, fuck those people. They look so happy raising like 6 kids in a happy, loving home.
Booming real estate market. I didn't get the interest rate I wanted.
But yeah, exactly. Like the fucking dude who did that works at the fucking Piggly Wiggly bagging groceries and lives in his fucking mom's back room. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, not Publix.
That motherfucker does not work at Publix for sure.
The nicest
Publix
people
is the
work
best
at Publix.
people ever.
Yes, they do.
I'm just saying, man, like that. Like it takes effort to be a piece of shit like that.
Oh man, doesn't it?
And to hate on people who are like contributing to society, raising a beautiful, happy family. And I was like, what in the fuck?
Dude, I don't even have time to be just a piece of crap in traffic anymore.
No.
My mind is like 1,000 different. I got a family, 2 kids, a third one on the way, a pregnant wife, a job, jobs everywhere, employees, like, man, how do people?
who have time to be a piece of shit.
Yeah,
A thought out piece of shit. Better yet, like
yeah.
if you have time to like plan on being a piece of shit, stop. Do something else. Like the amount of time you must have to plan like an organized like if you've got time to protest.
Oh God.
If you got time to dress up like a Nazi and walk around and fucking hate on biracial couples or hate on gay people, or if you have time to fucking hate on capitalists and fucking the man and Donald Trump, you fucking go. Like there are so many more like things you could be doing. You could be picking up garbage on a beach. You could be fucking helping some disabled person. Like if you hate people of color and you're like a racist, well, I bet there are some old white people in a old folks home or in a veterans home that could use your help.
Oh yeah, no
but
doubt.
You're not helping them.
No doubt.
You're just being a piece of shit. Or if you
when
hate
is Veterans Day, by the way?
November 11th, my friend.
Good.
But I'm saying like anytime you have time to protest or hate anybody, right, on any side of the spectrum. If you hate Trump, you hate whoever you're hating, and you're taking time to hate. Well, the cause you're hating on, the inverse is what you're supposed to be lifting up, right? So if you hate something, you hate something because it's attacking something you love,
something you own or
you love and
right.
care for. Okay, so how much effort are you putting into the things that you allegedly love and care for? Fucking none. The motherfuckers that are raising hell and protesting and hating on shit, how much community work are they doing in the community they're trying to protect by hating on the shit they don't hate? Because it's so fucking easy to hate.
Oh yeah.
It's way easier to fucking
resistance for sure.
It is. It's like, fuck you, this is bullshit. Okay, cool. Well, what are you protecting? These people here, Cool. You're trying to save illegal immigrants? Cool. How many people have you taken into your own home and helped them work through their citizenship process? None, right?
None.
Go fuck yourself.
I guarantee you won't find one person.
Open borders? Well, guess what? Your locked door on your home is a fucking border. Open that bitch. How many people you taking into your house? None. Well, it's different. How's it fucking different? You pay for your house, we pay for this country with taxes. It's not fucking different. And I'm not saying, like, dude, I think they should streamline the whole thing. I think you should give all those motherfuckers Social Security numbers, get them in here, get them working. I don't care.
Yeah.
Streamline the process. I'm not talking about stopping people at the border.
It's doable.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about, like,
there's an app for that.
I'm talking about the hate side of it. The hate where you just want to bitch about something and not offer a real solution.
Yeah.
And you're telling people they're not offering a solution when you yourself have the potential to offer a minute solution and you're not doing it. You're bitching about a big giant problem to which it takes a bunch of individuals fixing and you yourself won't fix it. That's what I'm talking about.
So conversation for another day.
Yeah. What do you want to wrap up with, man? We're rolling on.
Let's talk about. So speaking of Veterans Day, you want to try to line something up for Veterans Day while we're like a special podcast, a guest? Any ideas?
No. We got some people we've lined up. I got a Ranger buddy in town. You know, just met a new Ranger buddy in town. So there's a very few and far between of Rangers floating around. So he wants to come on at some point, and we've got a lot of buddies who are trying to get on here, but we're our only two friends in Birmingham, so it's a little more difficult to get people in.
Blake has a fight this in 2 weeks.
Coming up. Yeah, he's got a fight. I definitely want to get him on before the fight because he's a father, right? So since he's been a dad, he has not fought. So we have a good friend of mine, Blake Singley. He was I think he has pro card in boxing. I think he was still semi-pro in MMA. I'm not sure. He was very good. He beat a lot of good people. He was very, very good. Like, so Deontay Wilder, current heavyweight champion, Blake was his sparring partner.
Yeah.
Put it that way. Blake's fucking legit, right? So the bronze bomber, Blake was his fucking sparring partner. They just fought fucking Tyson Fury. Blake's well, obviously
Wilder, right?
Wilder beat the fuck out of him, according to Blake.
What was the other UFC fight that happened this weekend or this past 2 weeks? Big one.
Well, you had the biggest thing everybody was talking about was when that guy dropped that flying knee on Ben Askren, when Jorge Masvidal, which I don't really have a problem with Ben Askren, but I really like Jorge Masvidal. Like, I like his style. He doesn't talk. He's not a big shit talker in the way that like he doesn't talk shit like a millennial. He talks shit like an adult. Like if he talks shit to you, he's gonna fight you. Like he used to do those backyard fights with Kimbo Slice, and beat the fuck out of big ass dudes that were a lot bigger than him when he was super young. Like he's our age, and he's been fighting professionally MMA for like 18 years or something. Like he's been fighting since he was 18 years old.
Kimbo Slice.
And this guy Ben Askren was an undefeated, Olympic wrestler, and was talking all this shit. How he was going to take him down and do all this, and Masvidal fucking KO'd him in 5 seconds. And he practiced it. It was. There's an experience level, and then there's tactics, and then there's like when you have somebody's number, man. And like some people just know they have another guy's number. And it's just like, even though that one guy can beat the fuck out of everybody else, if that other dude has his number, it's like Daniel Cormier and John Jones. Daniel Cormier beats everybody's ass whose name isn't John Jones. John just has his number, man. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
And they fucking hate each other. And they fought twice, and John's beat his ass twice. And it sucks for Daniel because he's a fucking Olympian. He's a good dude, family man, always done the right thing. You remember, like, I equate John Jones and Daniel Cormier to the X-Men, right? Cyclops and Wolverine. Cyclops was a goody two-shoes, was the leader of the X-Men that nobody liked because he was a goody two-shoes. He wasn't a dick, didn't do anything wrong, and he always did the right thing. And him and Wolverine always fought over the same girl, right? But everybody liked Wolverine better because he was the bad boy. Didn't play by the rules, always got the girl.
Substance to him.
Yeah. And like just that little bit of dark side that he showed made you like him more because it made you feel more comfortable in your own skin about having that dark side in you, I think. Because when somebody's so clean and so good, you can't like them. Because it makes you feel less of a person. You're like, fuck, I'm not that good of a human being. But when you see the bad guy who does good every now and then and can beat the good guy's ass when he wants to, you're like, that's my dude. Like, you don't want the clean-cut fucking square. It's the guy who can come in and fucking wreck shop, still beat the square when he needs to, but doesn't play by the rules all the time. Like that guy, everybody loves the bad guy. Like that's why Wolverine was always more captivating than any of the other X-Men, because he was the bad boy. 100%. James Bond doesn't listen to MI6, right? Does his own thing. The Rock. What we talking about? Hey,
Speaking of James Bond,
what you got?
Layer Cake.
Pull it
Really
mic
good
to you.
movie.
Pull it mic to you, dog.
Layer Cake. That was a really good movie.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it again.
Did you finish watching it?
Yeah.
It was good, right? How good was
Yeah.
that movie?
I watched it about halfway through.
If you like Daniel Craig's
yeah.
edition of James Bond, Layer Cake, you will fucking love. Because it's the movie that got him that role.
Yeah.
And you see why in that movie. Like, he wasn't being considered for James Bond before that movie. And they did that movie. Got it. It was perfect, man. It was perfect. It's a very good role for him. I think I got really interested. I went down a rabbit hole on that in Google, I think. But from a dad note, again, shout out to the Combat Dad Bag.
I got to see this thing. Let me see.
Oh, yeah, I was showing it to you. So these dudes hit me up and we were talking about like the same thing I've bitched about people not
That wasn't it.
No, that definitely wasn't it. You dick. About people not
What was that, by the way?
don't worry about that. About people not giving dads love, there aren't like diaper bags and things like that made for dads. Everything is still very feminine, and not that that's wrong, but like things aren't curtailed to make it more dad friendly who take care of small children.
It's a tactical dad bag.
Tactical dad bag, right?
They got their own page, all that. They're good. Dude, that's awesome. I'd buy it.
Yeah, they make a bag just for
So here's the deal with me. And I don't know if it's the same way for you, but we went through a big deal buying a diaper bag when Sage was first born. And what happened to that bag as soon as we got out of diapers and all that good stuff?
Let me just throw their tagline out there. Our products strive to provide functional masculine products to proud fathers. What is wrong with that?
I just would like something I could buy, use it to haul a kid around for 24 hours a day. And then after the kid's growing up, you don't need that specific function anymore. Use that bag for something else.
Yeah.
And I'm outdoors, I'm hunting, I'm doing all that. So I'd like something similar to that. So
that's a functional. That's a functional bag.
Dude.
It's designed. He's got little
Carry-on
bottle holders,
size, all that good stuff.
all the stuff. So I mean, things like that, man. That is like we talked about before.
That saves me a lot of stress.
You go into the grocery store. Moms choose this. This is what moms choose. Like dads shop too. Go fuck yourself. Like it's 2019. Jesus Christ. Oh, do you see what I just posted?
No.
Huggies for the first time since Huggies have been around. Huggies diapers had a dad on the box.
Two dads or just one dad?
There was one dad.
Okay. Or the dad.
It'd be cool with two dads. I don't give a shit. Just the fact that it has a dude on there and not a fucking female. No offense to females. But geez, if you act like dads have never changed a diaper, you're fucking crazy. And if dads aren't changing diapers, quit being a piece of shit and change a fucking diaper.
I don't know that Ricky ever changed a diaper.
Hey man, my dad didn't.
I know. Isn't that weird?
I think it's weird.
I think it's weird too.
Like I don't know how. Like I don't know what I would say to get out of that. Like I didn't help make that baby.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what you could say. I honestly don't know what you could.
I think he never changed. My mom was like,
I don't know what
my brother. I don't think he's ever changed a diaper.
I don't know what you could say as a man to get out of changing a diaper.
I'm gonna find out if my brother ever changed a diaper.
Like what would you say? Like you don't have a dick. Change that diaper.
Basically. Basically.
I don't know how else you could say that. Huggies puts dads on the diaper box in 2019 for the first time in history. Go fuck yourself. Are you serious?
I'm not on that diaper box. I'm not changing that diaper. That's a woman's job.
Hey, look, they made it extra special. It says special delivery.
Jesus.
It's a whole thing, man. It's a whole thing. And like I'm not gonna act like it's some fucking weird struggle for us, but like seriously, if you pretend like dads aren't fucking contributing, and dads that aren't contributing, you're a piece of shit. It's 50-50, motherfucker. Get over it. But for the rest of us that are contributing,
yeah,
and we get shit on, and I'm not gonna lie, I do like when people like I'm extra special when I do awesome dad stuff. That is nice.
Yeah.
But really, when in my head, I'm like, why are they acting weird that I'm doing something that I feel like would be abnormal if I didn't do? Like taking my kids around, doing whatever. Like people are like, oh, you babysitting? My kids? If I got paid for this, that'd be great. But I actually pay to have them with me. So just to be clear. Anyways, well, you good to wrap it up on that?
Yeah. Well, Veterans Day.
Well, we can't. We
get a target out there, dude.
All right, so we're gonna line up some of our veteran friends. I think maybe an amalgamation, like a bunch of small interviews with like the same series of questions. I don't know. We'll have to spitball some ideas, but if anybody got ideas, leave it in the comments.
Yeah, for sure.
Send us a message. Thanks for listening. We've been getting a lot of positive feedback. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, I do want to say thanks for listening, man. That's some comments, some traction on this. It's been
we've got phone calls, texts, comments,
yeah.
emails. Really appreciate it.
Stroke your ego a little bit.
Also, less stroking of the ego, the negative comments. We also appreciate that. Like our podcast is just us getting shit out there. And like I've had recently had some lady friends reach out and say, we think we got some things wrong about females. You know what? We've yet to have a female guest. Can't wait to have one. Because like you can't be so attached to your ideas where you can't let them go.
All right. Or you can't talk about them.
Yeah. Like I enjoy the dialogue. So we look forward to having some female guests in the future to discuss some of these things. And again, thank you for listening.